Hello, everyone. Well, we have basically got a non-championship race, if you think about it, because we have got 9 reserves in here tonight. So almost half the field will not be scoring constructors points. Great. Which makes my life miserable on Friday. Good stuff. And also, as well, is that I think the gold jars probably need a bit of a shake-up personally. But there you go. So that's put me in a fine mood, hasn't it? Good stuff indeed. But yes, anyway, is there any point going through going through the constructors? Possibly not. Is there any point going through the drivers? No, not really either. But anyway, let's get on with the show. So we right. Where am I? Where is all the stuff which I've just quickly had to rush and do all? It is the drivers' championship, and currently at the moment it is Flippy who leads the championship, and the gap is getting quite substantial between himself and Medi. Then the gap is 41 points now between Flippy and Medi. Then third position is Brabant on 103 points, 82 points for Julian, exactly 100 points away from Flippy. Fifth is Villiers, and once again, no Ferraris are racing. And sixth position is Immortal on 56 points, 49 for Sweet. Van Von on 34, 33 for Kieran. Pease on 29, 26 for Nameless. Mayran on 24, Equals on 23, Percy on 19, 16 for Marky. Legends on 16 as well. Savasta 12, 4 for Delano. Chaza on 3. And Emerson, believe it or not, has got a point. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then, of course, he got fast as that point last week, which is superb stuff indeed. The Constructors' Championship, Aston Martin currently lead the way, and the gap is starting to increase now. The gap is now, they got a 37-point gap between Aston Martin and Renault. Oh, it's a bit murky in the background. Kick Sauber only 5 points away now from the Alpine team, as they're starting to slump now, unfortunately, Alpine are. We got Red Bull on 82 points, and they are 70 points away from the top three. Ferrari are only 8 points. Ferrari and Mercedes are only 8 points away from the Red Bull team. Haas on 63 points, 56 for McLaren, 25 for Racing Bulls, and Williams on 19 then. And then in the Joint Constructors Championship, Alpine are almost double the points in front of the next challenger, which is Red Bull Racing then. 214 points between the top two constructors. And after that, it's very close indeed. It is Aston Martin on 224, 10 points away from Red Bull. McLaren 4 points away from Aston Martin, and same with Kick Sauber as well. We've got a car out on the circuit. I'll tell you all about that in just a jiffy. There's going to be a lot of very unusual names for any of you regular Gold viewers tonight. Then we got Haas on it. No, we don't. And then where am I? I've lost where I am now. Ferrari on 365, and it's 260 from Racing Bulls. Haas on 259, 1 point away from Racing Bulls. Mercedes on 237, and then the Williams team breaking into triple figures. Fantastic stuff indeed. That's cracking stuff. But really good stuff. Then is we are here in the facility of Zandvoort. And this is of course very close to the sea here in Zandvoort. And only a couple more races in Zandvoort before it drops off the calendar at the end of 2026 there. So ALR potentially have got 3 more races around here than before it gets thrown to the wayside. Unfortunately, 2 hours around it. It is a very narrow circuit. I'm very interested to see how this circuit plays out in terms of the new regulations in the real F1. Then, of course, which I think the cars will be very suited to this circuit. Very, very suited to this circuit. And when Formula One gets there in the not too distant future, probably about in the summer sometime, something like that, isn't it, and all that kind of stuff. So Jenna going to start. It's like just like he does in silver. Jenna very keen to get out on circuit. Going into turn 3 as well. Of course, the banked turn 3. Then of course we also got a banked turn 14. It's turn 14, isn't it? It's now coming up to Skyflock. Of course, one of the best circuits on the one of the best corners on the Formula One calendar, which is all gravy stuff indeed. So Jenna then going to be first out on circuit. Farhad then has left the session. Congratulations to Farhad, who will be the new Williams driver for Silver, as Nigel, unfortunately, of course, Nigel has been carrying an injury for most of the season and has had to give up his Williams seat as the pain has got too great for him, unfortunately, for Nigel. And we look forward to seeing Nigel back, hopefully, in season 15 of ALR. And we've got a lot of cars out on circuit. Apart from Knowlesy and Farhad, and Farhad's not in the session then. So I'm wondering if it's going to be rain afoot then, because a lot of cars out very early on then. Jenner goes fastest, just under a 70-second mark. Emerson goes second fast, and a whisker behind then. Well, no, not anymore, because actually Sweet goes fastest, followed by Sweet Crown in the Ferrari is now fastest. And goodness gracious me, they're all coming through very quickly, aren't they? Nip and tuck them. Prudish goes into fifth position there, as we got Savasta now into third in the Aston Martin. Legends into fourth position. Goodness gracious me, I reckon there is rain coming, because this is fast and frantic stuff, and to open up the account here tonight in gold then, as we now got Medi going into fastest and 2/10 of a second in front of a Sweet Crown at the moment. Good stuff indeed then. We have got Kieran going into fourth position there, of course, in the McLaren, hoping for his first podium of the season there. But Qualls goes into fifth position and qualifies his teammate. Then Bunce goes up to fourth position. Good stuff indeed there for Bunce then in the Red Bull car, even though it is very much looks like it's a very unusual Red Bull car, because of course it's got the Honda livery out there. Vesser goes into 11th position, and Emerson dropping down into 12th at the moment, whereas Pease is the slowest time runner so far, as Pease, who has at the moment, Pease has not set a representative lap so far. Bravitt on circuit. Julian, last week's race winner, also on circuit as well. And just watching Bravitt in the kick Sauber. Medi currently on pole position, and Medi, of course, very much cream of the crop in terms of pole positions this season. Just taking a look up in the sky, and yeah, you can see there's a big rain cloud just over yonder. That's just over the start-finish straight. Is towards the beach over that side or that side? I do not know, to be honest. My geography has very much eluded me. Coming to the line now then is Bravitt then, as on board now with Bravitt, and up to the line then, of course, the finish line very close to the start line. Then Bravitt goes third fast, so there's an all-kick Sauber, row number 2 then. Good stuff indeed. As what about Julian, who's very close to the back of Bravitt, and I think he's going to have to do another time then. He is doing another time. Pease has set a much better representative time this time around. Is in 7th position there. Goodness gracious me, started off fast and frantic in a Zandvoort here tonight. Flippy on circuit, of course, the championship leader is Flippy. Ayrton on circuit as well. Last week then it got very heated between the two championship rivals, and yet rain has started to fall then, so anyone who isn't out on circuit, that is one of them, is Flippy, of course. Oh my goodness gracious me then. So Julian, last week's race winner has got to get a time on the board now, and so does Flippy, and Ayrton does as well. So at the moment then, it's all mission critical now. So these drivers then, as Farhad has joined the session now, but it might be too little too late. In the second intermediate split time, it's a 47.9 then for the Mercedes car, and coming out of turn 12 now then for Julian. Flippy's only just started something. Look at that then. Is the track wet? Not yet. DRS is still in there, but there's sand across the circuit, or gravel I should say, across the circuit. So Julian coming up to the line now, and Julian goes full fast now. I think that's a good recovery from Julian. As who's that then? Is Flippy on to navigate his way past one of the I think that was one of the Red Bulls potentially there. You can see the raindrops are starting to appear on the camera as well. Then on board with Flippy, second intermediate, it's a 47.9 then. There's a 10th of a second down for Julian, then he might be able to get to the top 10 for the championship leader. There's Ayrton just in front of us then. Ayrton is just in front of us, and we're going to concentrate on Ayrton in just a jiffy. Out of the final turn then for the world championship leader, up to the line then as Ayrton trying to steal a slipstream there for his teammate. I think it's an all hill turn racing ball. Flippy goes 9 fastest there. Not ideal at all for the championship leader. Oh dear. How long is this rain going? Is this just a quick splash and dash, or is this rain here to stay in Zandvoort? And of course we are on the coast then. I remember in the 2023 Grand Prix around here where we had a dry start, then it rained, then it stopped, then it deluged down again, didn't it? Of course, and that was on the day that Equals won his first Grand Prix in Canada. I remember that well, as all Flippies off the circuit there, and of course I think Sargent crashed there in 2023 as well. I remember that day well because of course Equals won his first first and only Grand Prix so far in gold. And we had the legendary Far in comms, didn't we? Which is cool stuff indeed. So I think it looks like that some of the drivers out there still thinks it's dry enough. Well, as Farhad then, of course, the newest member to the Silver Grid then tomorrow night. Then we're going to talk more about Farhad later on. But of course, he's Super 7 in tonight in the Mercedes cars. He's going over Skyflock as well. Is Mehdi then currently second in the Drivers' Championship. A very important race last week there where he did outscore Flippy by only 3 points, but by only 3 points, but that 3 points could still make or break the difference in this championship. Remember last season, Soundshift Ninja, I think the most successful driver in ALR with 4 world championships to his name. Soundshift Ninja came from a long way back to be a mortal in the world championship, as it was a final showdown in Abu Dhabi last year. Of course, so anything can still happen in this world championship. As Mehdi into the pits, out bad at this time. Then Brabbit on circuit as well. Brabbit in third position in the Drivers' Championship. I think a bit of an outsider at the moment, isn't it, in the World Championship. Remember, though, in Season 8, I think it was, the Championship reached absolute boiling point, didn't it, where, of course, it was Boxtel and Percy fighting for the Championship. And, of course, Troy was also the third wheel in that one as well. But goodness me, he went from the third wheel to the leading wheel. And winning the Drivers' Championship. Of course, Troy's one and only Drivers' Championship of his career, as Ayrton's retired from the session. Junior has as well. It's a bit of a mixed grid, I would say, isn't it? As Mehdi currently leads the way at this moment. Emerson also. So both the Hiltons have had enough then, and they are back into the garage now. Then, of course, there's an all-brother affair in the racing balls there. Hello to Sam then. In before Emerson has finished last 3 places again. Then says Sam. We've also got Equals there, of course. ALR with the Dutch flag as Brabbit coming out the final turn there. I'm wondering if we're going to see some rain in the race reputation, but this is going to be a very short qualifying. It's going to be a very short stream of this race. Goodness gracious me. Brabbit in the in now then. I love racing gold. Watch them race off into the distance. Nolte, let's go gold then. Good evening, everyone, says Katie. Equals, rain. Katie, rain. Scrap, says Equals. I think that's a good sound position for Equals, to be honest. You can see the track ain't even that wet, is it? But goodness gracious me. Drivers there are drivers then already have abandoned their times and come back into the garage now. On board of the World Championship leader, Flippy then, and goodness me, all the way down non position. That's the carbon fibre zone, isn't it, really, for Flippy? So that is not ideal at all for the World Championship leader, unfortunately. Ah, yes, Boxtel and Percy instant in F122. Still one of my highlights. I love it. Of course, controversy creates cash and all that kind of stuff. Wherever it needs to behave itself, says Katie. Who scored the most points in Gold Championship in ALR history? Oh, hang on a minute. I haven't got my full book. I'm sure it is Emerson with 1,624 points. Emerson's got then second. I'm not sure. I think it might be Percy with 1,570 points then. At the moment. Let me look all the way down my spreadsheet then. Sam Swift Ninja's on 1,294. I'm going to be honest, these big numbers really confused me. Now we've got Troy who's... Oh, it's Flippy's off the circuit and retired from the session there. Yeah, I think Emerson's got the most points in ALR Gold history. Still, of course, he said that he's only had 1 point this season. He said that about back in season 6 or season 7 of ALR. Goodness gracious me. A long time ago. I remember that because I engineered for him at that time. Emerson needs a breath test. A breath testing. He's driving like he's under the influence there. Disgraceful behaviour. Don't drink and drive, of course, unless it's Heineken, because of course that's sponsoring the Formula 1 event, isn't it? And all that kind of good stuff indeed. Of course, talking about Emerson, this is 120th Grand Prix start tonight, so happy 120th there to the double world champion. We have also got, have we got any other milestones in here? So I put on me specs. Don't think so. 75th Grand Prix start tonight for Legends. Like goodness me, Legends has barely missed the race because he 74 Grand Prix ago, but Legends made his debut in Bahrain of Season 10. It's very rare for Legend. I've listened to Jonathan Ross. It's very rare for Legends to miss a Grand Prix. Going to speak back in Season 10 of Bahrain there. Bear in mind that our seasons are about between 17 and 20 Grand Prix, so he's barely missed a single Grand Prix as Legends. It's the 75th Grand Prix start tonight for the Williams drive, but unfortunately for us, he's in the garage now, so we cannot bask in his glory here. Unfortunately. And also, I don't think Chaz was here either, actually, in the other Williams, but he would have made his 116th Grand Prix start as well. Knowlesy is on 172 Grand Prix starts tonight. I thought it was someone else, actually. I thought we had a 69 Grand Prix start tonight because I am childish. Right, let me go on that spreadsheet. Let me go on to the real spreadsheet. There we go, fantastic. I'm getting good at this old spreadsheet malarkey. It's not like I've been doing it for 7 years. By the way, happy 7th birthday for ALR's YouTube, as we created it 7 years ago yesterday. Oh, that's an injury if I ever seen one there. Ultimate Beast. So hopefully this is not the race. Goodness me. If I was doing the F1 career challenge, that would have been a driver injury. Kieran coming out of the final turn there, trying to use a bit of slipstream there from I think it's Vessi, the Alpine there. Kieran 6 seconds down there. That just shows how damp the track is there. But yes, happy 7th birthday for ALR. Then of course the YouTube account was created on the 15th of March 2018, I think it was. Thank goodness gracious me. Time flies when you're having fun. Or was it 2019? I think it was 2019 actually, wasn't it? Goodness. Or was it 2018? I don't know. But anyway, happy 70th anyway. Get short of cake to the commentary box, please, gentlemen. Absolutely. Kiki. Alex last to first and last to last. I fancy having Sean as a engineer. Jeez. I must say, when I was an engineer for you, Mushroom, you did have some very good results in the event league, of course. So, I take all credit for Serious Mushroom finishing in the top 10 of last season's event league. Of course, and also there were some doozy battles last night, wasn't there? I really enjoyed the battles. I think between Vessia, maybe Can potentially. Or Kaz, I think it was. I was half asleep, to be honest, because I was asked to race at the very last minute, but unfortunately, for all you drivers out there, I was in bed. Yes, it's at 7 o'clock last night. I was absolutely knackered because I don't get up very early in the morning. More interesting enough is, though, what did you think about the Chinese Grand Prix? It was better than Australia. I still do not like the qualifying. I do not like drivers having to harvest on one lap in qualifying. It really irks me. But the racing is some people not too fond of the racing. I think it was good, especially between the Ferraris. I think there's still a bit of stuff to iron out, but personally, I didn't think it was too bad. It was a lot better in Australia because I didn't like all this super clipping into the very fast part of the circuit of 9 and 10. But I thought overall China was fine for me. Anyway. Imagine having Mushroom giving out setups at GZ, says Kiki. Yeah, that's the reason why. That's the reason why I finished 18th in the championship last season. So I was obviously, it was all a ploy. You see, I'm basically the second Red Bull driver last year, where Christian Horner liked Serious Mushroom more than me, and I don't understand why. I'm absolutely devastated. Equals retired from the session now 2 weeks ago in this qualifying session, which is actually quite good because I thought it was going to be a short qualifying session and I was going to have to talk absolutely blue. So in a check beast, he may be in the kitty litter. He absolutely is in the kitty litter. As Farhat then coming into the pit stop just on board Brabbit, and I think this is a very shrewd manoeuvre there for Brabbit. Of course, we was talking about Grand Prix starts. This is the man who's third in the championship, former silver champion. Brabbit is making his 77th Grand Prix start tonight. Of course, another legend who's with car 77, of course, is Valtteri Bottas, and of course, joined for the Kick Sauber a few seasons ago now in the Cadillac, which of course will be entering ALR next season, which I cannot wait. Then of course we're going to have 22 drivers in ALR next season for each championship, which would be superb stuff indeed. I cannot wait for that. I'm good to see. I am looking forward to seeing Cadillac in there, even though the livery's not very good. Some of the overtake is still artificial because of the battery management. Yeah, there's still too much battery management. I don't mind a bit of battery management. Don't get me wrong. You always in F1 you have to like do a bit of battery management or a bit of management where it comes to tires and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I really do not like qualifying them. They need to sort that out. I think. Imagine using key setups and then giving them to Sean. That's a serious question. Shocking. I think the first race of last season, I did use default set because my teammate let me down. Kiki. No, not Kiki. Who am I talking about? Serious question. Goodness gracious me. Shocking stuff indeed. Then. Fliffy's going to be on it, says Equals. Absolutely. Why does Perez need a mushroom, says Real Ashton. To be honest, that's what I'm asking as well, because when I had the mushroom, it didn't really work out too well for me, and I was expecting a speed boost, but I think in the end it gave me a deficit. I think instead of the mushroom, I had that thundercloud. Yellow flag for one of the McLarens. Kieran is off there, and it is probably getting a bit too sketchy now out there in the McLaren for Kieran, and he's damaged the front wing there, so that's not ideal. But luckily for Kieran there, the car will be repaired like for like, and Kieran can go back in there as well. There was the most sketchiest driver award in IndyCar that was given out, not last week, the week before, when they was here. I can't remember which oval it is right now. For some reason I'm thinking Nashville, but Nashville is usually the end of the season, isn't it? I am trying to get into IndyCar. I'm not doing a very good job of them, but there you go. I'm also interested to see how Mick Schumacher does. Well, he did really well in the oval last week. As Brabham crossed the line end of qualifying, is done and dusted then. I must say, as Kieran there taking a shortcut there. Goodness gracious me, it is like Mario Kart. But yes, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the sketchiest driver, and ironically, who won that? Roman Grosjean there. I must admit, actually, as Kieran there doing a lovely bit of drifting there. Oh, that's not lovely, because he has now given a glancing kiss with the Armco barrier there, unfortunately. And I think he's stuck as well, isn't he? I think he is there. That is quite a divot down there, so goodness me. If I got stuck in there, I think someone's going to have to roll me back into the ocean, unfortunately. Everyone needs a mushroom. I'm not going to say what that mushroom said there because this is a PG channel then. Ish. Right, we got no formation lap tonight, so let's go for the grid. Medi on pole position. Once again, that is Medi's fifth pole position of the season. Sweet Crown second. Brabham in third with Julian in fourth. Sweet and Bunce on fifth and sixth position there. Equals and P, seventh and eighth. Championship leader Flippy down in ninth with Kieran in 10th position. Savasta in 11th with Ultimate Beast in 12th with Legends 13th. Jinner 14th. Fester in 15th. Emerson 16th. Medal 17th. Ayrton in 18th. Fard in 19th. And Knowlesy brings up the rear in at 20th position there, and that was basically a one-lap shootout most of the time in qualifying because only some drivers got one lap. By the way, the reason why we're only doing a formation lap is because we tested last night in the event league, and of course this ghost of malarkey where some drivers have been taken advantage of it, all that kind of stuff, has hopefully been eradicated then by removing the formation lap. Albeit I heard a rumor that there might be a bug in the old wheel stuff. The problem is though that I only read half the comments in the chat before I get distracted by TikTok, which is because I'm a shameful person. Skyflock says Knowlesy, best corner on the calendar in my humble opinion, as we get ready for the start of the Grand Prix. And of course, shocker, Grosjean got involved in another incident yesterday with Nolan Siegel. I will say the Arrington circuit was very good there. It was, wasn't it? I must admit, I'm not sure about the pit exit, by the way. So I'm still new to IndyCar, so please lambast me because I'm still getting used to it and all that kind of stuff. How dare you, Sean? It's over between us. Ooh, very feisty on this Monday morning. Monday evening. That's Mushroom. Just you wait till bronze on Wednesday. I'll be straight in the comments. I probably will be. I'll probably be in bed, to be fair. Because if I am commentating on ALR, what am I doing? I'm actually sleeping, eating, and sleeping, to be fair. I don't really do much else. I'm also trying to do these YouTube shorts and TikToks. And going very well, I must say. Right, lights are on. 4, 5, pause. We are go here in Zandvoort, then it's going to be a shot. Flippy's at the back of the grid. What's happened to Flippy? As we go down into turn 1 and into Tarzan, is everyone go away safe and sound? I think they have been, as I'm not sure. I think that might have been a problem with the tower, because I think Flippy, yes, he's back up into 8th position down there. As we go through turn 3, then, of course, it's a very short, sharp run, then, start to this Grand Prix. And who's that? That's an Aston Martin off the circuit, and that is Julian. No, it's a Mercedes off, and as we go up into Skyflock as well. Medi leads second as Sweet between the two kicks. Sandwich in front of full position on the outside of Skyflock. Goes and peas and number 2 at 9th position now. Kieran on the inside as well. Julian is off. He's put a wheel onto the grass. He's off the circuit. Glancing blow of the arm coat as well, unfortunately, for Julian, and also hitting the polystyrene there as well. Unfortunately, as we come down into the first DRS zone as well, and into the turn 11 and 12 bed, as we got Flippy just making his way out the field, and just like one of our commenters said then, that Flippy is on a rampage. He certainly is, and he's up into 6th position already there for Flippy. And this is a critical moment in the outcome of the Drivers' Championship. Potentially, we're only on round 11 out of 17. Sean Carmen down, sit on your bum, my good sir. We have got 36 more laps to go. Bunts is all over the gearbox then of Sweet Dennis. Sweet doing a great job. The Kick Sauer team is starting to become a major, they are a major factor in the Constructors' Championship, aren't they already? More points here are accumulating right now, which is fantastic stuff indeed. That as you go into turn 3, once again, Flippy just behind him, then Aquas in a superb 8th position. Peas, Kieran, Sebasta, Beast, Legends, Vestier, followed by Jin and Prudish, followed by Emerson and Ayrton as well. The two Hiltons are almost going side by side there. Goodness gracious me. And then we got Farhad, followed by Julian, who's got past Nolsey and into 19th position. Now, there are the pit strategies, and we are, well, apparently it's a 2-stopper. I'm not too sure about that. I reckon it might be a 1-stopper in this one. Biggest winners is Flippy then, who's at 3 positions there. Unfortunately, Julian is the biggest loser on that one. Junior and Ayrton are both on the soft tyres. And then we got hard tyres out for Emerson and for Farhad as well. Everyone else in the field is on the medium compound tyres. So no formation lap. No, it's not. So we're trying to get rid of this ghosting issue, which has really hurt the gold drivers especially. Some drivers, I think some drivers have probably felt that they've been taken advantage of as well. Coming on to complete lap 2 of this race, and DRS is now available. And look at Sweet Crown then. Of course, Sweet Crown, a Grand Prix winner in his past life in ALR, aiming to become a 2-time Grand Prix winner. Bunts on the inside, Sweet got on the outside there, and almost, goodness me, Bunts are cutting across the nose cone of Sweet there. Goodness gracious me, that was getting very cozy, wasn't it? I'll give you my Skyflux says here, smash good heavens above. My gosh, we're flying here tonight. Well, goodness me, we're going to be finished by 8:15, which means I can get snuggled up in bed. Fantastic. Goodness me, I'm feeling very ill tonight. On board of Ultimate Beast coming out of Skyflock once again there. We love ALR, says Barry then. Great stuff indeed. Is that Diashi Bashi? Fantastic. I'm sure that's Diashi then. Of course, a former bronze Grand Prix winner in the comment section. I love that. No, Julian, says Daniel, unfortunate. Oh dear, says KD. Flippy fought the formation lap. Was on like me last night. Is that going to be the same for Silver tomorrow with no formation lap, says KD? I believe it is, son. So I believe that the formation lap is going to be turned off for all the championships, for silver and for bronze as well. So so make sure you keep your ear out for that. Which is unlike me then, as I forgot, to be fair. But instead of pass up the race and back into turn once again, then Sweet Crown leads, 2nd position. No, it is. Goodness me, Sean, sit down and get on with the programme. It is many to lead. 2nd position is Sweet Crown, and of course this is perfect for Sweet Crown, perfect for many, I should say, who wants to advance his championship credentials. Here's not Julian Smith over that position. Julian dropping all the way down to 7th position. Remember, Julian was last week's Grand Prix winner, and all the way down at the back of the field. Next target is the double world champion and the only world champion in this grid now, with Percy getting up in C as well. Emerson is the only world champion in this grid, which I think is very bizarre indeed. It feels like the 94 season of Formula 1 there, albeit I don't think they had any champions at all in that field, did they? Of course, they did with Ayrton Senna at the beginning of the season, and then of course Nigel Mansell came back as well halfway through the season. I say halfway through the season, I think he did 3 races, did he? Adelaide, hang on, I'll get there in a minute. Jerez, France. Did he do another? I'm sure he did, because Coulthard only did a few races as well. His last race was in Portugal, wasn't it? Really good stuff indeed. That out of the part two then. The man, the myth, the legend, the ALR veteran, that says D. Ashley. Fantastic stuff indeed. That. Oh, okay, maybe not. I think the formation up is off for everyone, isn't it? Did I not say that? I apologise. The formation up is off for everyone. Richard Julian from 20th to 1st, says Richard. And at the moment, he is doing a fantastic job. We're only on lap 5, and Julian is coming through the field like a hot knife through butter. But Emerson is having a sniff there. Goodness me. That's only on the weekends, my good sir. Out of turn 3. Goodness me, Sean. Through first Skyflock. Once again, I'm dribbling all over. And it's because Benny's doing a superlative job in the Alpine machine so far. far. Kieran all over his teammate, all over the back of his teammate. Equals then doing a great qualifying result then. And look at that, McLaren do need some decent points there, don't they? Sean Gillett together, disgraceful behaviour. Is this a theme from? Oh, as Real has retracted his statement now. Oh, goodness me. You know, I had a really good idea of because ALR does have a Twitch account there. You know what I was going to do? I was going to stream like ALR races on Twitch and like just do it like a Ronin thing over a couple of hours. I reckon that'd be quite funny, to be fair. That's a very random change, isn't it? But I just looked down and my Twitch just popped up on my laptop. And look at that then, his Equals has got past Pease and moved to 7th position. Of course, Equals has flashes of speed, doesn't he? Knowlesy's got past Ayrton as on one of those soft tyres are starting to fall apart now. Flippy now is now starting to put the pressure on. The top 6 are broken away from the rest of the field so far. The gap is almost 2 seconds. There's the McLaren Mercedes in the background of Equals. Thank goodness gracious me, he's well out of DRS, isn't he? Unfortunately. Is this the theme from Gummy Bears? I'm trying to work out what the theme is from Gummy Bears. For some reason, I got that theme. I'm a gummy bear and all that one. But I'm not sure if that's the one you're thinking of, that real Ashton. Beast is a world champ. Wrong, Sean. In silver, not in gold. And so I'm standing by that one, of course, because Jinner, of course, is a champ as well in a bronze. But of course, in terms of world champions, as a gold world champion, and we've only got Emerson in here. But yes, Serious Mushroom is quite right, begrudgingly for me, of course, because we've got Bravitt, the former silver champion. We've got Flippy, a former silver champion as well. We've also got Beast, the silver champion. We've got Jinner, a bronze champion. Emerson, the two-time double world champion from gold, as Peters is back up into 7th position there. So we've got Prudish also making some hay whilst the sun is shining beautifully around Zandvoort. To make an early trip into the pits, and the soft tyres I think are falling apart already for our favourite Brazilian then, unfortunately. So entered into the pits and what tyres is the Racing Bull driver going to go on then? Dribblegate. If only that was the skill that I have in FIFA. It's not FIFA anymore, is it? It's FC football or something like that. Dear me. What a waste of money that was. I think I spent like 80 quid. I got the Ultimate Edition. And what a waste of money that was. I think I've only spent 20 hours on it. Disgraceful behaviour indeed. I think I spent more hours on WRC, and that was a free game. Oh, goodness me. Right, Benny coming down the short straight here. We don't really see many overtakes, do we? Unless, of course, it is George Russell on Leclerc, was it, in 2025? Really great race indeed, that, of course. One of the best overtakes of the season. Was it the overtake of the season? I can't remember, to be honest. Soft tyres then for Jenner is going off, but unfortunately, as we're coming out to complete lap 8 then of this race, into the pits. Flippy, the championship leader, is in. Equals is in early as well then. Oh no, and Equals is going to be kicking himself because he had the speed today, but he's in problems already, unfortunately. A 10-second penalty for Equals, and that has completely ruined his race. Surely, unless there's a safety car, might be able to look at the amount of understeer that Sweet had there. Goodness me, clipping the inside curb there. But unfortunately for Equals, that is heartbreak. So Flippy has got a 6-second gap between himself and that Knowlesy, which means that Flippy's not got to do some qualifying laps now. Now this is going to get very interesting indeed. Evening all to House, and of course, are we ahead of time? We absolutely are. We had a bit of rain in qualifying. We have no formation lap. And the drivers was in very early as well, where I was actually given a hurry up. Oh my goodness gracious me! Then it's hot on the stream. I wish. Well, I am hot, but I'm not hot looking. I'm just a hot mess. And also, it's hot in terms of pace on the race circle as well. Out of the final turn then, and Sweet Crown in the pits, Barber in the pits as well. Bunce also in the pits. Sweet. Oh no! And Sweet is going to lose an abundance amount of time because you'll see Bravitt coming into the pits as well. No, I'm talking absolute hogwash because Bravitt has stayed out. Julian's also got a 10-second penalty. That's 2 penalties in 2 laps coming into the pit lane around here. Oh dear, oh dear. That's disappointing. Into the pits then, KD. Lap 8, says Halsey. Absolutely, of course, Halsey off the back of a superb podium in bronze last week. Of course, got a 2nd position for Halsey. His first podium of his career. I believe, or 2nd podium of his career. I ain't got my bronze sheet up, but what I do know is his best was result of his career for Halsey. Brilliant stuff indeed there. Scrap says serious mushroom. So Brabham then coming down the short straight into 11 and 12. Of course, remember that we've only got about 6-7 more races of DRS before we have overtake mode, active error, and all that for season 15 of ALR. Of course, it's not a new game for ALR come next season. It will be as the two race leaders into the. No, Brabham stays on then as Brabham has feigned me once again. I don't think he feigned me last week, actually, last lap actually, but you know, I'll just make it up as I go along. Sebastian stayed out there and is now up into second position. Next season, of course, is a DLC game, and I'm trying to whisper that it'll probably be June time until the game will come out. So we do have a bit of a big old break, don't we? When the season finishes around April time, it does, or was it May? I think it's May, actually, isn't it? It's Emerson there. It's having a look. Goodness me. As the hard shot Emerson there. Emerson. What? Hard Emerson? Oh, he's always. But Emerson there is now on the hard tyres. And goodness me, he is racing hard. They're coming into Skyflock, and Emerson has really now started to put some laps on the board in the racing pool. Getting his first point of the season for the double world champion last time out in the Hungarian Grand Prix of a fastest lap there. Emerson, of course, rejoined the grid after several seasons out there. Of course, he is far from his best and very similar to Lewis Hamilton. It's of course after so many accolades before the downforce era? No, before the ground effect era. And I'm wondering then if Emerson is driving in season 15 next season. I'm wondering if he might prefer the newer cars potentially. We got time for another short season. Says Halsey. We could even have a sprint season, could we? Oh dear. I think oh no! And Bunt is off the circuit as a prudish men on Emerson have got through faster. But Bunt has had a spin and it's dropped down into 10th position. That's a horror show for the race for the Red Bull driver. However, he has got no damage. So the gap between the two championship rivals is less than a second there. Remember, it got very friendly in the Hungarian Grand Prix a week ago, and now they're going to renew hostilities here in Zandvoort. There, this is what it's all about, isn't it? Remember though, there's Flippy has a couple of younger tyres compared to Medi, and whether that is going to help or hinder it remains to be seen. But as it stands at the moment, when all the strategies play out, it will be Medi leads and Flippy in second position there. But that is if people come in the pits now, so we keep an eye on that, how this one transpires. No retirement so far in the month, but unfortunately it's both Ferraris at the back of the field at this moment now. We got two drivers with 10-second penalties. That is Julian down in 16th position. We've also got Equels with also having unfortunately a penalty as well. Emerson now, of course, start on the hard tyres. Only one of two drivers start on the hard tyres, and Emerson is now really making his way through the field as Emerson is now in the 4th position. Medi is now up into 5th position and gets past the Mercedes driver. And what about Flippy? Flippy's through as well. He also sets the fastest lap of the race. The world championship leader is now starting to really put the pressure on the KD. Flippy versus Medi. Fire it is. And wow, this is going to get very interesting indeed. We finished at the end of April DLC, taken maybe late June now. What's happened? Oh, I was reading. Oh no! And Flippy, who just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, has made a crucial error in this one. Goodness me, let me take a look. Oh, that's a big bang with the wall. And now Flippy's also got issues there because he's now desunken behind P's as well. Oh, that is a big, I'm being surprised if he hasn't got damage there on the Aston Martin. That is a major mistake from the championship leader of Flippy. And Medi is now going to take absolute, it's going to take advantage of that mistake. And Flippy's dropping down. There's technical problems for Flippy. Flippy is in major peril in the Aston Martin, a difficult qualifying. And now he's had a glancing blow with the wall. It's more than a glancing blow. It was a big old hit for the Aston Martin driver. As Kieran there has had an issue. Bunt has got past Farhad. Two McLarens are going side by side. We've got our three abreast then. As here comes the Williams driver of I think that is Ultimate Beast. It is Beast down the inside. Equals are still through. Kieran going back on the inside. As there was contacts going into Tarzan there. Oh my goodness gracious me then. But Kieran down in 13th. Equals making a double maneuver there. McLaren up into 11th position there. Flippy now needs to try and steady the ship, so to speak, but he can see his championship rival. Now all of a sudden he is several places behind his championship rival, and his championship rival is 5 odd seconds down the road. That is a lot to make up in this one there. Buns got chinned, said Sirius Mushroom. Just watching Medi now up into 3rd position. Next target is Brabit and Savasta. Brabit and Savasta not pitted on the medium tires, nor is Legends either. Now then, is that because they feel that the drivers that have come in the pits already is going to have to make a 2-stop strategy here. Julian on the inside of Beast and has contact, and I think that Baltimore Beast is not allowed now. Emerson's in after only 14 laps on those hard tyres there. So Emerson is basically is condemning himself. Is that the right word? Oh my gosh, and Beast diving down the inside. Great manoeuvre from Beast there. Well, that was all out. It was all on the wall then. Oh, contact between Kieran and Beast, and this is getting very feisty between the McLaren and the Williams cars. And of course, they've had a great history in Formula 1, haven't they? And I think that also in terms of the top constructors in the top championship of ALR, I think that there's 5 constructors championships between them, 3 for McLaren, 2 for Willie, something like that, or along those lines anyway. On board Mercedes of Julian as well, currently in a 12th position in the Mercedes. Flip off short. Absolutely, I was reading the comments, so I blame the commenters rather than me. Because it can never be my fault, can it? Never. Into the pits comes Brabham after 13 laps. So if he's done 13, 14 laps on those medium tyres, surely they could go to the end of the race there. And I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Into the pits comes Savasta as well. Medi retakes the lead, and look at that. He's got a beautiful, but a clean track in front of him. And now he can really dictate the pace, can he? Bud second, Sweet in third position. Peter's down to 4th position. And Brabham on the inside there, but he's not going to have the momentum there. Oh, he is, because I think Flippy went off the circuit there, and Brabham has got back through, and now Flippy is on 7 photo tyres behind Brabham, and Brabham could be on a mega strategy here in the Dutch Grand Prix. My goodness gracious me, it's absolute anarchy in the open stage there on lap 15 there. We're coming to after this already. The pace around here is absolutely red hot. Brave 1 stop, says Serious Mushroom. So we saying that everyone is pitted before before Brabham and before Savasta is going to go onto a 2-stopper then, do you reckon? Ooh, interesting. I do prefer 2-stoppers. Fathad also has the same strategy as this man here. So of course Brabham is going to try and get to the end then. This is going to get very interesting. Emerson there is gone for alternative strategy. Has already gone off those hard tyres and onto the medium tyres. So Emerson will have a pace advantage over his rivals in front of him, which is currently Jinner, followed by Savasta, followed by Prudish, followed by Vessier, Legends, and Hilton. My goodness gracious me, who's who of ALR Grand Prix racing in that gaggle of cars, isn't it? Good heavens above. Savasta now all over the gearbox, and Jinner up the inside into Tars, and Jinner gives him just about a car's width there. Really intriguing Savasta to go through that, but I think Savasta decided better of it, and thinking about another manoeuvre somewhere else, maybe into Skyflock, but that's quite a precarious manoeuvre though, isn't it? Because look at how narrow this piece of racetrack is here. As we now fly up to Skyflock as well, with Medal now, we're very close to the back of the Aston Martin, and look at that Aston Martin. That is even with the fresher, harder tyres, the understeer is very apparent, isn't it? Beyond the Haas car of Jinner. Look at Prudish there, trying to strike there. We've got Best here, followed by Legend. Emerson is at the back of this crocodile at the moment in 16th position, but has the medium tyres there, and he's trying to use those medium tyres with much better traction there off of the turn 10 left-hander. But at the moment, there are no dice set as we go Very close to the button. I'm just going to take a look because Brabbit is now getting past Pete. And number 2, 4th position is Brabbit. This is very intriguing. Brabbit is about 10 seconds away from the leader of Medi. As we're on lap 17 out of 36 around here. As I mentioned, the pace is absolutely rapid out there. Savasta has got through. A lap later, he has got through Jinner. Then Jinner on the outside. Then Savasta is now into 11th position with Jinner in 12th. 13th is Prudish with Vesser in 14th. Legends in 15th. And Emerson is currently in 16th position in the racing balls at the moment. Edson is keeping tabs on Knowles at the moment. The multiple 3-time Grand Prix winner. Have fun with the top end speed of Jinner, says KD. Because I think Jinner is he's got a very slim car. He's so quick as he's got a slippery eel of a car down the back straights, hasn't he? As Jinner there. But on that instance there, Savasta did get through. I think that the tire deficit playing a key factor in the overtake there. But that was 1 lap extra, which Savasta didn't want, unfortunately. On board with Brabbit then, of course, so Brabbit's got a lovely clean bill of air in front of him now. So Brabbit, and this is the part of the race where he's going to get very intriguing indeed. Then up the inside goes Sweet. They go for second position on the inside of Bunce, but Bunce cuts across the Kicksauber and reclaims second position, or retains the second position. Julian getting past Equaz as well. Both the drivers are in the naughty book for the stewards there. Both of them have got drive-through penalties. Jenner fighting, and Besser on the outside. Of Jenner, of course, these two are from Silverton, very much renewing hostilities in the Gold Championship. Now when we got who's that on the inside? That is Legends on the inside of Prudish there. My word, there is getting very prudish as well. That is Everson there on the inside of Legends there, but Legends cuts across the Turbo World Champion into Skyflock once again. But then they're all status quo somehow, as it was getting very cozy, wasn't it? Julian now all over the back of Beast. And Beast there is on the same tyre actually as the same life of tyre as Beast, and he is through and passes Ultimate Beast and up into 8th position there. Beast dropping down Sniper, and you can see then how dirty and sandy this circuit gets. We are next to the beach. There's a lot of sand dunes around this Grand Prix circuit, and so then it can get very dusty at times. We're on board them with the silver champion from a couple of seasons ago, and look at this, and there's once again Ultimate Beast is gaining on Julian, goes for the switch, goes up the inside there. A bit of the dummy contact between the two cars, and my goodness me, and then once again they're getting very argy-bargy, elbows out contact, and that's more contact, and that time Julian has been spun off and just about keeping out the wall. It did look like it was getting a bit personal between those two drivers, as Julian has recovered, but Savasta there, you can see that the Mercedes there is limping wounded. Then last week's Grand Prix winner, down in 10th position with a 10-second penalty, also having issues on the opening stage. My gosh, my goodness, my holy goodness moly, that is incredible. And fun, contact, my goodness me, that banging wheels, and off the circuit goes Legends there. My word, and that was absolute redonkulous. Goodness gracious me, how was that not take airplane crashes beyond me? My goodness me, fortune favours the brave there, but my goodness gracious me, I wonder if that was a step too far. Jinner would run 1-1 wings up Monaco just to get on your nerves. And that's the kind of thing I can get behind. And now we're Flippy up into 5th position. And the next target is 4 seconds down the road. So Flippy's blow at the barrier was quite a heavy blow. And I think that as it stands at the moment there, so he is trying to recover now, is Flippy. But my goodness gracious me, he's losing a lot of points in this race. But this will only be Flippy's second time off the podium now. Of course, the other race where it didn't go too well was actually the Austrian Grand Prix a few races ago then. So of course, I don't think it's cause for panic just yet. Julian's into the pits now. I'm not sure if that is the pit window for the two stoppers, or if that's Julian coming into the pit because of the contact between himself and the Ultimate Beast a lap or two ago. Kieran is next, and of course, Kieran, I keep I keep being so shocked to say this, but Kieran, of course, has not got a podium just yet. And so, oh dear, says Serious Mission, that you can say that again, and it's getting very frosty between Beast and Julian there. Currently, there's a couple of positions and a lot of seconds between those two drivers now. So maybe then they might renew hostilities, which would be great for us. Oh, and my goodness me! Was there contact? Was P spooked there? I do not know, but my goodness gracious me! A collision down on the start-finish straight. A lovely drift, by the way. That's 10 out of 10 for style. Savasta is having to let Pease back through, because I assume because of the yellow flag infringement. Oh, I've missed it. Oh, and Pease into the wall as, oh dear me, and Pease there. And that's a safety car, and that's going to be under investigation there for a... well, that's going to be frowned upon, I think. Now, I think the Pease is probably going to be frustrated about what happened down the start-finish straight, but whether or not Pease then causing a safety car, that is not going to be. He's not going to be on the admin's Christmas card list or the Summerfest, because I think we're closer to summer than Christmas at the moment, don't we? Safety cars out then, so this I think is going to help the two stoppers, and this I think unfortunately is probably going to ruin Bravitt's strategy as I sit here on my perch. A very uneducated response from myself, I know, but that is my finger in the air kind of guess. Medi into the pits. Buns, I expect everyone to go in the pits here, and the kick salvage may have to queue here, and they are indeed. Bravitt's got a lovely bit of advantage between himself and Flippy. This might bring Flippy back into play, you know. So Bravitt coming into the pit, and so this safety car then I think will certainly be under investigation by the stewards at the end of this one there, as the kick salvage are going to have to queue there, as Bravitt throwing the World Championship, and it's going to have to be held up then. Flippy into the pit. That's a nose cone change for the World Championship leader, and that is going to lose them all abundance amount of time. Bravitt's still on 4th position. Kieran is now in the 5th position. Beast there, I think he's gone. Yes, he has gone. And Flippy has dropped down the order. Legends has stayed out on very old hard tyres there. Vesser into the pits as well. And is that old tyre? No, that's new tyres there. Emerson there also in the pits as well. It's an absolute anarchy in the pits there. So there's a new nose cone for one of the Haas cars. One in it for Pease, of course, there, who may be in a bit of trouble with the stewards there. But well, I assume that will get investigated at the end of this race there, as P's also being held up as well. And we have got Julian there will also be happy about the safety car, as will Ayrton as well. As Ayrton's had a trip somewhere and has lost the end plate off his front wing. So let's take stock. We're on lap 22 of this 36-lap Dutch Grand Prix. Medi leads the race then, and this is crucial in the World Championship moment with his championship rival down in 8th position there. Flippy, 10 starts. Flippy has been on the podium 8 out of the 10 times there, whilst Medi has been on the podium 7 out of the 10 times. But there'll be a big point swing tonight if it stays the same, which I highly doubt it would, because I think there's going to be still a lot of triumphant tears in this one. Bunsen 2nd position with Sweet in 3rd. Bravitt in 4th position. The offset for Bravitt, who extended his stint on the opening couple laps there. Unfortunately, that's come to nothing, and dropped down, and he is still in 4th position nonetheless there, with Legends in 5th. Legends is staying out, so he's going to extend his stint to the end there for Legends, but he is going to be a roadblock there with Kieran in 6th. Beast is on 7th. Flippy down 8th for this area. So I wonder if Flippy there just testing to make sure the steering's all right after that heavy blow on the outside of turn 3. Vesser in 9th on medium tyres, with Jinner also on medium tyres in 10th, with Savasta and Prudish Meadow 11th and 12th position, all on fresh medium tyres. Can they go to the end? Emerson on fresh hard tyres in 3rd position, with Equals in 14th, serving that 10-second penalty, as has Julian as well. Sweet Crown in 15th there. 16th is Farhad, with Julian in 17th. 18th position is Pease, with Ayrton in 19th, and Knowlesy in 20th position. Still all 20 cars running. Bert Mylander is out on circuit at the moment, or is that Farf? We are telling if it's Farf, because Farf usually gives the drivers a bit of a side swipe when he's in that safety car. Case in point to the Canadian Grand Prix. However, he's a very when he's got his launch control on his racing ball, he's not as swipe happy as the Farf is then, of course. But goodness me, that safety car, it can be very dangerous, can't it? just waiting for Nosey to catch up then, also on fresh medium tyres as well. Do you reckon medium tyres should be able to get to the end race? We've seen in the early stages of this Grand Prix, I think it was Brabant that went very long on those medium tyres to begin with, didn't he? He did about 13, 14 laps, so certainly the medium tyres should be able to get to the end of the race from here on in, but they might have to take a bit of a tender loving care in this one, just to make sure that they can get to the end. And let me get rid of all these notifications because we're about to get racing once again. So Medi is going to really have to get his elbows out. No DRS then on the opening lap. Then there'll be DRS at the end of lap 23 then into lap 24. No, at the end of lap 24 into lap 25. Go, go, go for Zandvoort. And at lap 24 of this race, and of course, we've got a rolling start here. And look at that, there is Sweet and Bravo going side by side. The two teammates are going wheel to wheel down into turn 1 in Tarzan. And Sweet there is not letting his teammate through. Kieran has passed Legends already. And Legends almost causing issues for his teammate Ultimate Beast. Legends locking up the outside tyre there. Goodness me, that's unusual to see the unloaded tyre having issues there. Kieran ghosting there. Hopefully he is still in the car. He is still in the car. That was a bit worrying there for Kieran, who is doing a really good job on that. Beast there, who's being very closely monitored by Flippy, and Flippy cannot afford to be involved in any shenanigans in this race. He's losing time already in this one. Hello Takaya, hope you're doing well, my good sir. As always, we got Beast not Beast, Legends there, struggling to get on the power. Of course, he's got 10 lap out tyres. I think he's the only driver in the field that's elected not to come into the pits. Flippy is now going to try and get past Legends. He does. That's an important manoeuvre for Legends. Haven't done with that. Force his way back through with Flippy. So Flippy there is going to be run out wide there. There's a bit of contact there. A bit of a rubbing of wheels. Nothing more than that. And Flippy is through and up to Flippy is through and up into 7th position there. Legends dropping down to him. DRS has now been enabled. And I think Vessier is the next car. It's going to be on Legends' tail then. Is Vessier going to have a look down into turn 1? Not quite then. But he has left the door open. A bit of a crack has appeared then in the door between Vessier and Jinner. As Jinner wanted to storm through, but Vessier then slammed the door shut on the toes of Jinner. So Jinner's going to have to maybe wait until the next lap potentially then. Ignore the yellow flag in the top left-hand corner. Do not worry about that. That is just the one of the quirks of this game. As you got Sweet Crown, who's very close to Emerson. Emerson there also slamming the door shut on the Ferrari. Oh no! As I was just watching Bunsen, he's off the circuit. Was there a manoeuvre going into out of Skyflock, but he's off the circuit, Bunsen. And the man who is second in this race is all the way down into 10th position there. Oh goodness me! He's now side by side with I was going to say his teammate, but that's but that's a Haas and not a Red Bull. Oh dear, and we've got more, that's Prudish out the inside, banging with Sebastian, who's through. Julian getting past Emerson as well. Emerson there has been hung out to dry, as Julian there on older tyres, Emerson side, and that may be crucial later on then. The final turn there once again, then I think that Vessier would like to get past Legends now then, as Flippy is set to fast on the race. Flippy is now in the 6th position there. What is going on in the background there? Goodness me, that there's a lot of weaving into, as well as happened there. There's a bit steaming up the inside as Bunts there, he's through, passes Vessier, and back up into 7th position there. Jinner in 9th, 10th position is Legends now, with Sebastian in 11th, 12th position. Oh my goodness me, Medal and Julian getting close, goodness me. It's Anarchy out there, Emerson, followed by Sweet Crown, Equals, Pease, Ayrton, Knowlesy and Farhad brings up the rear. Look at that, Medi is now out in front then, with Sweet second there. Emerson is lost out to Sweet Crown, going into Skyflock. Emerson then is wheel to wheel, then Emerson backs over, so Sweet Crown goes wide then, and that is the 120th Grand Prix worth of experience there for Emerson. Sweet Crown dropping down into 17th, make that 18th position, no, make that 17th position there, Sean. Can you count? Absolutely not. Julian forcing Medal out ever so wide then, but look at this, Medal's going to be at the inside. He is. He forces his way through, but goodness me, just about keeps him with. I think they're going to go into the barrier. They are going into the barrier, and they lock wheels of each other. And Julian and Medal there. Medal spun the car. Oh my goodness me! You felt that one. You just felt that one just ticking, didn't you? It's like a ticking time bomb there. And unfortunately, Prudish down to 20th position. Banging wheels there. Absolute incredible stuff. The Brabant is now into 2nd position. position. Third is Sweet, then Kieran is in fourth. Fifth is now Beast, and Flippy is in a sixth position. On board now then with Ultimate Beast, going through a Skyflock. And then we've got a big old gap then between a Flippy and Bunce, who's recovering after a spin at this part of the circuit here on the last lap, on lap 27 out of 36. Sorry for the lateness, short. How did it work? And then Physio. Come on, Emerson. Physio, I understand, but work absolutely. That's shambolic behaviour. Currently, Emerson has got a nosebleed as he is up into. Oh no! Well, not oh no, that Emerson's up to 12, but Pease is off the circuit. And then where Logan Sargent crashed in 2023, Pease is out of the Grand Prix. And I think the Pease' a bad Dutch Grand Prix has come to the end, and a bit of a screeching halt, unfortunately. It's like a lobby of Percy's and Boxtowns out there. It seems to be very personal out there, doesn't it? Goodness gracious me. Remember, Boxtown and Percy were fighting for the World Championship. I think that this is about pride then. And of course, pride can be a very dangerous thing. I don't have much of it, to be fair. On the inside goes Jenna Vessers in 9th, 10th is Sebastian. It's on a Hilton into the finishing. Goodness gracious me. Emerson up to 11th. Equals in 12th, and Julian recovering down into 13th now. Julian's had a very difficult race then. Ayrton in 14th, Farhad in 17th, 18th is Medal. Legends comes to the pits now. Fresh medium tires to the end of the Grand Prix. Let's see where that takes him. 12th place, just how he looks, and goodness gracious me. Just watching Flippy now then. Currently in 6th position, Flippy is. He is losing a lot of points then, but I think that this is a day of recovery. This is what, this is a champion's drive there for Flippy, because of course with all the issues going on for Flippy tonight, that he's made a very rare mistake as the World Championship leader, and yet then he's still in 6th position. That is the mark of, this is his testing his metal, testing his championship metal here tonight. And potentially could get past the Beast. And of course, Beast used to be the measuring stick of ALR Silver, didn't he, umpteen years ago? As he says, he hasn't got the pace like he used to have. Is he going to fight this one? He certainly does that. As always, getting a bit floaty on the rear posterior there is the Williams driver. Julian is now past Equals and Pease out of the Grand Prix. And I think the Pease will be happy to leave Zandvoort, as it has been a very testing Grand Prix for Pease, who was in the top 10 for the open echelons of this Grand Prix, but it's really unraveled very quickly in this one. Flippy all over the back of Beast, and so is Vesher all over the back of Jenner as well. Two silver drivers doing a great job out there, whilst Aniki is spreading around the Dutch Grand Prix. Vesher and Jenner are driving superbly well. They really are indeed. Then I was saying the other day actually about Vesher probably his best season in ALR in terms of stats, but of course Vesher did say that this is possibly, he would say that this is not his best season in terms of performance, which I absolutely agree with that, because I'm a man of my stature. All I care about is numbers, not like kind of stuff, even though I can't count. The inside there goes Emerson. Emerson there keeps the inside there, but Julian's going to dance on the outside up to 11th position there. Of course, Emerson there might be able to get catch back up to that battle later on there. Of course, Emerson has younger tyres compared to Julian, and the three medium runners in the background there, in the foreground there. This could get very interesting indeed. Vesher now into 9th position, Jenner down into 8th position. Make that the other way round there. My word. Now we got Savasta also hoping to get some points as well. I think that this could be just a matter of time before it gets before it can get very cozy now. And I think that Equals is trying to see what Emerson's metal's made of. As he's going to have a go into Skyflock here. See, Emerson is saying no way. Pedro there in the 12th position. As Medi is leading the way by 2 seconds there. Grab it, followed by Sweet, followed by Kieran, followed by Beast, Flippy, and look at Bunce there. Bunce, who was in 2nd position there, and was about to match, who's that? That's a Beast going wide there. Bunce was about to match his best result of 2nd position, I believe. Unfortunately, had a issue a couple of laps ago, and is down in 2nd position, but goodness me, he is caught out to the back of this crocodile. The top 7 are very much marching away from the rest of the field. Or 1st position is, then we got the next 6, and then we got the rest of the field at the moment. outside. Here comes Flippy. Flippy is having a look there. Sweet is not close enough. Flippy is having a look there. Goes on the outside. Beats a contacts there between the two cars. A bit of debris came off the front nose cone of Flippy, but Flippy there is not going to be deterred, is he? And I've got Jitter getting past Vessier once again. Oh my word! More contact there as Jitter is through. Sebastian's through as well. Vessier's through. Emerson back up into 11th position there. Julian going on the outside. Where is he? Oh my word! And he gets a much better exit there. And Emerson is going to have to yield the feed at the moment, but then Equals is back all over the back as well. Julian on the outside. Oh my goodness gracious me! It's an incredible overtake potentially. Oh my word! They almost locked wheels there. Coming out of Skyfly. Great Scott! I have watched Back to the Future the other day. On board once again there with Julian there. Julian dying at the inside there. There's going to be more contact there. As I think Julian's racing with a bit of aggression now. Vessier's had to yield the feed. Or is it because he's now swapped to the outside there? But Vessier, I think, is going to, might be struggling on those medium tyres now. Oh, I think I've got cramp in my back. That's not good, is it? Ooh, my word. The gap in the front there is still 2.25 seconds there. Sweet having a look, nothing more than that then, as I'm wondering if Sweet is now going to play the rear gunner there. Of course, team tactics in ALR can be good, can be bad there. Sometimes it plays out brilliantly, and other times it could be a bit of a damp squib. As Savasta now into 8th, Jinner in 9th, Julian in 10th position there. My word, of course, that last week's race winner, Julian there is, goodness me, so quick, isn't he? Out of turn 3 there, and he was pushing the Haas there, goodness me, he's encouraging Jinner to get on. And of course, Jinner is normally one of the fastest drivers in a straight line there, but I think that Julian had such momentum out of turn 3. Look at the understeer though, from a Julian's point of view then. Of course, these ground effect cars are very, give off so much dirty air in this current era of Formula, but of course, next season we'll have the newer cars in at the F1 2026 at DLC, as they're both on the grass there. Jinner and Julian there. Is Julian gonna have a go? No, because I think that gap was always going to close there. Vessier's got a 3-second penalty. I think that's Vessier's challenge for the points out of this one now, unfortunately. So once again, Flippy is stuck because he's now in a DRS train, unfortunately. Unfortunately for Flippy, he's now stuck in a 6th position. But as it stands, I think this is a great recovery drive from the championship leader. Julian up the inside as a great drive from both drivers there, because Jinner gave Julian a car's whip. Magnificent respect from both drivers. I tip my toupee off to you, my good sirs. Fantastic. Julian now did 9th position. Next target is Sebastian in the second Aston Martin car. Vessier got a 3-second penalty. Emerson is just on the outer echelons of the pointer, and he'll be hoping that those medium tyres fall off the cliff. Emerson, I think that going for a different strategy compared to his rivals around him, and it's certainly paid off quite nicely indeed there. I'm wondering now if that safety car may have hindered Emerson, similar to Brabham as well, potentially. That'll be something we'll be looking back on at the end of this race, and to see whether or not that safety car helped or hindered drivers. But however, I won't be able to tell, because I'm not a strategical genius. I'm anything but a genius in every walks of life. So Kieran now, of course, he's never had a podium in his career in ALR Grand Prix racing. Gold, I stress, gold. Of course, plenty of podiums in the event league there. Of course, a lot of wins in the event league as well. I think he's the highest in terms of number of wins, I believe. I haven't looked at his stat book since Friday, so we'll have to have a look at that later on then. As Freo and Julian blasting past Savasta there. Savasta, goodness me, then Julian was in a different time zone as he blasted past. Goodness gracious me, I think he was in light speed, or is it warp speed if you're watching Star Trek. Knowles there crawling there, so issues are on for Ferrari, unfortunately, as once again Ferrari are not scoring, and as unfortunately both drivers for the 3rd race in a row now, both drivers unfortunately not racing, so Ferrari are really struggling now in the constructors. It's not dirty air, it's just ginger, says Serious Russian. How dare you? I don't even have ginger on my food. Ginger's a spice, isn't it? I have heard of ginger beer, but it's not very nice. But then again, a lot of ginger is not very nice either. Oh dear, oh goodness me now. But oh, what's happened? Something's gone majorly wrong for Bunts. Oh no, and Bunts there for the second race there. For the second time in this race, there is recovering, but unfortunately, that I think is all but to end. Oh, and it's all but end his chance for fifth finish in this race. Flippy up the inside, and he's got it. He's having a look there. Goodness me, is it going to be a box selling Percy? No, Flippy into fifth finish. That's another 2 points in his championship campaign. Fantastic for Flippy. Really well done indeed. Then, of course, it was all looking doom and gloom before that safety car. I'm not saying the safety car saved Flippy here today, but certainly a great recovery drive for Flippy. Now we do fifth position on board with the double world champion Emerson once again, as Emerson there is hoping to get past Vessier. Well, he doesn't need to overtake Vessier, but he does need to overtake Jinner, maybe Savasta, if he wants some points. But Savasta's gone off down the road there, and the gap is about 2 2/10 of a second there. So I think for Emerson at the moment, I think that anything but a point now. Maybe a bit of a stretch now in this one. Gap is still remained at 2.2 seconds, as I think that Medi very much adopting the Alan Prost style of Grand Prix racing. Of course, he only needs to win, doesn't need to win by a huge margin. Remember that Ayrton Senna, infamously in the 1988 Monaco Grand Prix, there was dominating and was trying to extend his lead. He had no pressure on him at all, did Ayrton Senna. Unfortunately, crashed in Portier, and of course, and get the win. Was it to Prost? I think it wasn't it, the 1988 season? Of course, Ayrton Senna was very upset indeed, wasn't he, with the outcome there. Vassier might not be upset about this one on the outside. And Jenner there, I don't think Jenner's going to be too concerned. However, he will be concerned if Emerson gets through, because of course Emerson has no penalties. Whilst Emerson dives on the inside. My goodness gracious me, that's bold. Is it brave? Oh my word, no, it's not there. As Emerson and Jenner made a bit of contact there, as Jenner did not want to let the double world champion in gold through. The goodness me, of course, and why would he, of course, there? It's all to play for in terms of points. They're going to be happy to get a point in his gold outing. Medi leads then and is coming to oh no, we're on the final lap, goodness me, and coming out of the final turn now is Medi, and what a result then. This has maybe reignited his championship charge. Medi out of the final turn, and he wins the Dutch Grand Prix absolutely in fine style, and it's an all-kick Sauber second and third position there, but Medi wins the Dutch Grand Prix. That's his third Grand Prix win of the season, of the season. That is also his third Grand Prix win of his career as well, for Medi, as Jinner gets into 10th position there. Emerson just outside the points in 11th position as well. What an incredible race that was. There may be a lot of I think a lot of hullabaloo after this one, because it did get very I'm not sure if it got friendly, it got very cozy in the battle course for the honours here tonight then. But Medi, third race win of the season, his third race win of his career as well. Of course, Legends gets a fast up in his race as well. Fantastic stuff, and that's a good point for the Williams team. Two drivers who are very young in their careers in terms of ALR Gold then. And of course, both drivers and very new Grand Prix winners as well. Of course, Medi getting his first Grand Prix win this season, and of course, Flippy getting his first Grand Prix win in season 13 last season. Incredible stuff indeed. No pens, how born it. Oh, look at that. That's great stuff indeed there for Medi. I think we had I think we did have a penalty for Vessier, I believe in it. Final look at the classification then. Medi won the race, his third Grand Prix win of his career. And Brabbit is second down. One of that safety car, hamstrung Brabbit. But let's find out, of course, as I may be putting two and two together. Third position, sweet, with Kieran in fourth there. Best result of his career. Fifth is Flippy with Beast in sixth. Great result for Flippy. Bunts could have been on the podium today. Two mistakes, but well, I think, anyway. With Julian in eighth position. Ninth is Sebasta. And Jinner in 10th position. Emerson just outside the points line position. Best result of his career this season, or on his return anyway. Equaz in 12th position there. 13th is Vesser. Sweet Crown in 14th. Farhad in 15th. Prudish Meadow in 16th. Ayrton 17th. Fastest up there for Legends. Nolte in 19th position. And P's the only retirement in this race out with a safety car. And of course, that he also had he also involved he caused a safety car, and of course as well, there's which might be an investigation, and then of course he retired from the race completely, unfortunately. My goodness gracious me. Oh, is that Batman? That's fantastic. Cool stuff indeed. I might see if that's free later on then. However, I've still got to interview the drivers there. A 10-second penalty. Cheers there, says Equas. 38 in 37. It says Equas. That is so close. So Equas is going to be feeling a bit hard done by, unfortunately, in the outcome of that one. So that's absolutely that's devastating indeed for Equas. Scraps says serious mushroom. Make sure I got the TV turned up there. And Mehdi, great job today to win your third race of the season and of your career. I've been saying in the commentary box that the championship is back on. But what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, today I think like everything go went as planned. Qualifying was so good. We saw that it gonna rain in like first 5 minutes of the session, so I had to just go out so fast and do my lap. My lap wasn't perfect, but it was enough for pole. After that, I think with the issue that has solved from the start, I was successful to just keep P1, and after that, I just managed stint one. In a stint two, I was undercut. I was getting undercut by two cars, but I don't know what happened to them. I saw just their crash together, or I'm not sure. And my only concern in the race was Brabit. I think he was on first one stop. He was so fast. He was managing the tires so good. And after the safety car, I think I was so lucky with the safety car. And I'm so sad for Brabit that happened to him. But uh, after the safety car, I just managed my pace, and I was also watching the race behind me, hoping Brabit's teammate to pass him.
And I was saying in the comms actually about potentially the safety car really hurt Brabbit then, and that sounds like that's the case as well, Mehdi. Also, as well is you got your way through the field in a quite a clean and precise fashion. Whilst some of your rivals around you got caught up in all kinds of misdemeanor. How difficult is it to get through the traffic at this circuit because it's so narrow around here?
Actually, I think it's up to the battery management. I'm just getting used to just save at least 70% battery all through the lab. So in these conditions, when there is like opportunity for me to just get away from the pack, I can use it. As you saw, Rabbit wasn't slower than me today. It was only the matter of that one lap that I used my battery to open 2 seconds, and after that he was keeping the gap constant with me. He wasn't slower than me. If he was in my DRS, the race was so hard for me. So the only thing that I think it helped me, it was like having 70% battery in my car.
And then let's move on to the start of the race as well, because we've taken the formation lap off now to hopefully enable to get rid of this ghosting issue. And so at the start, then did that make you feel more relaxed, knowing that the drivers are going to have to overtake you to get past going down into turn one now?
Yeah, I'm fan of this format. If it's working, just let's go with it because it's gonna make the starts and makes the qualifying fair. I'm just confident enough to keep the pole position and after that managing my race. Also, when creating my setup, I can see the qualifying importance. Also with this thing, in last weeks when like you were getting passed by 3 or 4 cars, you were only focusing on the race pace, not the quali pace and stuff. But in this format, I'm just okay with it. I think it's fair enough. And as everybody said, I think the start was so good without any bug or lag or ghosting issue.
And I said towards the end of that race as well about you're very much Alan Prost kind of a style there, where he wasn't pulling away. You was just keeping the gap at the 2 seconds, and you just didn't seem to overstress the car. Then was that just making sure that you didn't want to win by a huge margin? You just wanted to get the car home in a safe style and getting those 25 points. Was I right about that, or am I just talking absolute boulder dash?
Actually, I could push much more, but when I saw in the first scene that Brabit is so good on tire managing, I was just focusing on saving my tire and keeping the gap into 2 seconds. So I had the tire in the last of the race. Maybe like I could open the gap to 3 or 4 seconds in first of the stint, but last of the stint maybe I was running out of the tire and Brabit could get me. So I was managing my gap to be 2 seconds. It's so safe to not get Brabit DRS, but also manage your tires there.
We got a new professor in ALR. That's incredible stuff. And of course, I'm always going to ask you about the championship. I think Flippy finished fifth today, I believe, maybe sixth or fifth. I can't remember. But that is quite a big point swing. Now the gap was still over a win, of course. But now is this going? You're going to take this in the stride now? Is this going to be your comeback redemption arc for the remainder of the season?
I'm actually I try my best, but Felipe also I think he was so unlucky today. I don't know what happened to him. I think just he just crashed out by mistake and stuff. We couldn't have fight here. Like more happy to just earn the points to Felipe by fighting him, not like this. But I try my best. As I told, like championship is not that important for me. When I saw like my pace is good every week, it's only enough for me. But if I'm fighting with for the championship with this pace, I will go for it. But it's not the like only aim for me here.
And we go into a very classic circuit next week in Italy. Then, of course, the Temple of Speed. How are you feeling around then? How are you feeling around then? It's another old school circuit. We're very much in the heart of old school circuits at the moment. Are you confident going into Monza?
Actually, Monza, like it's so specific in terms of strategy and stuff. I don't have any data on it. I think like last season I couldn't attend this race from Monza. I couldn't attend the rest of the season. I don't have any data on it, so I should work on it and see like how's the track, how are the strategies, and maybe watch the stream from last season to gain any data. Till now, I don't know anything from it, honestly.
Incredible stuff. Well done today, Medi. Your third Grand Prix win of your career and of the season as well. Fantastic. And this man is absolutely like Nicky Lauda, isn't he? Oh, getting some data ready for next week. I cannot wait. Fantastic stuff indeed. And Brabham, great job to finish second today. But I feel that that safety car may have cost you a win today. Do you agree with that statement, or am I talking absolute boulder dash?
100%, I totally agree. Like, it's a little bit unfortunate. I think I was the only one who was going for the one stop, and I was a little bit scared because I still think it's the fastest strategy. But yeah, the pace was really good. With the hard, I was close in the gap to the top three. And yeah, then unfortunately the safety car came out. I don't know why. Like I didn't saw a car crashing or DNF, so it's a little bit weird, but it is what it is. And yeah, but still in the end, P2, it's a great race. Shout out to my teammate, to Sweet. Um, First of all, he had such a good pace, so a kick 2 and 3 today. It's a really good result, and he let me pass, I think, 2 or 3 laps after the safety car restart. So I had a chance to close up to Midi, but I think we were quite equal on pace. And then in the last 5 or 6 laps, it was a little bit hard. I was running out of ERS, and Sweet was so fast on the straight, so I was trying to bring P2 home. But it is what it is. Medi was the best overall today. Stunning qualifying as always, and in the race I just missing a little bit of luck, but um, hopefully I will get it back in the season.
I must commiserations because you do sound a bit fed up by the safety car. I must admit, I do agree with you. But how do you keep yourself focused? Because a man like myself, I would have probably have like almost lost composure knowing that safety car's come out and completely ruined a strategy which potentially could have got me the win and maybe got yourself back in the championship. So how could you keep yourself focused knowing that that's going on, especially as you have to queue behind your teammate as well during the pit stops?
Um, yeah, I think some finally the experience pays off. Like I'm trying to focus on myself, and I try to manage everything I can control. So I try to keep the rhythm, try to move forward, and everything else I cannot control, so it's out of my my management. And yeah, I was believing I could possibly close up the gap because I think my tire wear is a little bit, probably a little bit better than the others, but yeah, in the end it was not enough. But still a podium. I'm happy to be back. Like I had some bad luck races with Spa, with not guessing the weather correctly. And today I was also a little bit on the back foot because I was thinking it would be probably a wet race. I still cannot read the weather forecast, but yeah, even with a little bit adjusted setup to the rain, I was quite confident and good in performance. So overall, it's good, but it could be better. But maybe I can improve next time.
And next time we do go to Monza, then, as Mehdi said, it's a bit of a unique challenge, the Temple of Speed in Italy. Are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to that? Some good memories in Italy, isn't it?
Of course, Sean, you are totally right. I also think it's one of my better tracks, but it will be really interesting to drive with a very competitive driver lineup. ERS game, DRS game will be important, and yeah, we have to wait and see. Also, rain is possible. You never know. I like Italy, especially Monza, but you have to wait and see how it goes.
And we cannot wait. Well done today, Brabbit. Great job to get second position. It was quite a challenging race then. Mehdi getting the Grand Prix win, and Flippy salvaging what was quite a difficult race. Only the third time this season that Flippy was not in on the podium then. Tomorrow night we will be back in action then here in Zandvoort for the silver race then. The gap is 10 points between KD and Tori in the championship. Pot stuff is 29 points adrift to Tori, 39 points adrift to KD. It looks like it's going to be a top three fight then for that drivers' championship. I cannot wait then. And of course, we also will be visiting Zandvoort again in bronze then with R2 Beat that is being hunted down by Tom Huffy. Tom Huffy then is, of course, on a 7-streak pole position, right? Absolutely superb stuff. And aim for 8, incredible. But R2 Beat then be hoping to return to action and keep that championship lead alive then. I'll see you tomorrow night for more action in Zandvoort.